Welcome to Girls Like Me Project. We are taking over Red Level Entertainment's Facebook Live, and we are so grateful that you are here with us watching. Want to shout out to Brian Thompson of Red Level Entertainment. Thank you, Brian, for giving us this space on this afternoon to talk about something that is so very important within our city, within our country, and really around the globe, and that is the protection and safety and security of Black women and girls. I am so honored that my organization was able to work on this project over the last few months with a very renowned artist. And so I can't wait to share him with you all. But first, let me tell you who I am. For those of you who don't know, my name is Lakeisha Gray-Sewell. I am the founder and executive director of Girls Like Me Project. We are an organization that works specifically with Black girls around the ways that media messages stereotype and stigmatize them, and really influences their own sense of self-worth, as well as influences the way that public policy is written and enacted and executed on their behalf. And so we train them to look for those messages, to understand why those messages are created and how they're used, and what they can do to create their own stories and to change that dominant narrative. So we teach them media literacy, obviously, but we also teach them storytelling tools, so they learn how to do podcasts, any type of digital media storytelling, podcasting, starting their own YouTube channel, using social media responsibly, and so on. And so this mural project and mural storytelling is yet just another frontier that we are excited to introduce our girls to. We just wrapped up a phenomenal summer, Soul Power Healing Summer, and we're so excited about that. And tomorrow will be our final Sankofa night, which we do in Boxville, in my childhood neighborhood of Bronzeville. It's going to be amazing. You will get to see some of this artwork that the girls and Damon have been working on. And you will also get African drumming, free food, fellowship, double Dutch. Marquin McDonald of Quantum will be there to do some demonstrations and self-defense demonstrations. This is going to be an amazing time. And so excited to share that news with you all here on this platform. And now I just want to bring in my guests. As I shared, Damon Lamar Reed, who, by the way, let me just say this. So Damon Lamar Reed, the last name Reed is my mother's maiden name. So I've been trying to figure out if Damon and I are related for like the past couple of months, still going on that journey. So that was an interesting thing about Damon, but I'm so honored that his work is getting so much attention. He's done so many great murals around the city. He's worked for the city of Chicago. Obviously, he's worked for CPS as well as Action. He's worked for Ticketmaster. He's worked in downtown Memphis Commission, and did some work in Memphis, Tennessee. He's worked for Allstate, Sears, the Legacy Foundation, Florida Gulf Coast University, Chicago's Home and Chicken and Waffles, Getting Better Fitness, Chicago Lighthouse, Children's Memorial Hospital, the School of Art Institute of Chicago, so many, Lawndale Community Development Corporation, and his murals can be seen all over the city. The fascinating thing about Damon's work is that it caught the eye of a renowned filmmaker by the name of Latoya Flowers Rudd. And she started to follow Damon in his work. And now that work is being made into a documentary, which has gotten support from Cartimquim as well as Hulu. And Latoya is phenomenal in her own right. She's a director, photographer, producer, and editor. She graduated from the School of Visual Arts and received an MFA in social documentary film. She's worked on critically acclaimed documentaries, aside from the one she's doing, The Interrupters, A Good Man, and Running Crazy, during her internships at Cartimquim and Cabin Creek Films. Her own short documentary, Derby Girls, was featured on the group exhibition, The Sports Show, curated by the School of Visual Arts Alumni Association. She's done so much, and I'm so excited that she, again, will be leading this, directing this film of Damon's work. And you can find her work every day at the Field Museum, where she is one of the lead curators and media producers there. So I am excited to bring on Latoya Flowers Rudd. and Damon Lamar Reed. Yes. Welcome, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me. Just to bring this forward to let people know what's happening in the city. This what we know has gotten national attention. That is the plight of girls and Black women who have gone missing in the city, almost without a trace, and no real media push to find them, no real alarm in the city to say that, hey, this is a problem that, Black women and Black girls are in danger in our city. So start with you, Damon. What made you even begin to to raise this awareness, to say that this is something that we need to lift up?
I've been kind of like a fan of like true crime things. So when I was like on YouTube and stuff, I was hearing things about like sex trafficking in Chicago, when that like Kanika Jenkins case happened. I was talking to my friend. We were talking about how it could possibly be a serial killer in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And just things like that, that got me to, just to thinking and doing more research. And I really thought, okay, if I'm interested in this stuff, how can, like, I don't want to just do something with no purpose. So how can I use my interest in this, but to actually, do something to make a difference? Like, what's the purpose? And I just came up with the idea to, to use my art to do these portraits of missing women. And, I've just been doing that ever since.
Yeah, I appreciate that because, so I'll give a little background. Damon taught our girls art theory for Girls Like Me project. He taught us art theory, but in teaching the art theory, we learned of different ways and different statistics of Black girls who have gone missing from other places around the country. And Damon, as you know, those stories don't get traction. There are many girls who you painted whose stories you really had to dig deep and do a lot of research to even find information about them. So tell us a little bit more about that, like the research that you have to put into it before you actually create a mural to honor them.
Yeah. Now I will say the first thing I did, I actually, I got on Facebook and I looked up groups for missing persons, missing women in Chicago. And one organization, they actually sent me some good links and kind of put me on the right direction. After that, I would kind of Google, because you always want to kind of fact check. So I would kind of dig deeper. I would try to find like either family or more information. And sometimes it's literally like a poster with a blurry picture. And then it says, they went missing sometime between, August and September, something like that. And that kind of amazes me, especially when this could be like a 17-year-old teenager, 3 years ago, with all the social media we have and, just all the video cameras and tools that we have, that I can't even Google or I can't go on Facebook and find, family members talking about this girl that's missing. I can't find any information. So it kind of, just baffles me.
Yeah. I think, the most interesting thing, Damon, and I don't like to be stereotypical or generalized, but I'm grateful that it was you as a Black man who took it upon yourself. Like, that speaks volumes, because I think it just says something to Black girls when we know that there are Black men who care enough to amplify this and care enough to actually lift this up and dedicate your art to it. You could have just saw interested in it, and this is just what you do, in your spare time, watch movies and go down a rabbit hole. But then to actually dedicate your art and dedicate a large piece of your energy to this is really commendable. And that's why Girls Like Me Project feels so honored to have you as the lead artist for what we wanted to do and just talking about violence prevention. Because I want to raise this point up to those of you who are watching. When we talk about violence prevention in this city, a lot of the times, the majority of times, we're talking about gun violence, right? We're talking about violence between gangs and those factions and that sort of thing, carjackings. We're very rarely talking about domestic violence. We're very rarely talking about the ways that girls experience gender violence. And we certainly are not talking about those girls who experience violence and who are murdered and left to die or left for dead or who just vanish from our community. So I want to thank you for that. Latoya, Black Girl Magic, yes. I want to thank you too. Thank you for being here with us, Latoya, and so glad that Damon introduced us to you and had you come in as he was working with our girls on those Saturday mornings. And again, using your art form to amplify and lift this up. So tell me, how did you even get involved and come to know like Damon's work, and how did this touch you?
Yeah, I came in contact with Damon's work like so many years ago when I was in college. I really came in contact with his music first. I was a big fan of his music. My brother Alexander Flowers, who's the producer on this film, introduced me to his music at that time, and we were big fans. And for years, we've been following his work and learning that he's a muralist also. So that was also fascinating. And we've been trying to work with Damon for so long, but our schedules just never really aligned until last year when we reached out to him and just wanted to be in contact with him and see what he was working on. And he started telling us about the Still Searching Project. And at that moment, we knew that this has to be documented. This has to be, this has to be shared out to a wider audience, because myself, I heard a lot of those stories of those missing women and girls stories on news way back in 2016. And from there, like, I knew that this was something that we wanted to follow, and we wanted to just make sure we get it out as much as possible.
Yeah, and I'm a huge person. Ida B. Wells's quote, Ida B. Wells is my shero, and her quote that people must know before they can act, and there's no educator to compare with the press. And so film being one of those press mechanisms or press channels definitely can alert people to what's going on, and then also prompt them to take some action. And in this case, taking action means to be vigilant for these girls who are missing, right? But also to be vigilant to protect and stand guard in our own communities as we are, as girls still have to grow up and still are living and working amongst us. So Damon, tell me, first of all, the process, to share with everybody the process of you working with Girls Like Me. I'll say this. So our girls, we want to give a huge shout out to Activists Incorporated, which is a violence prevention organization here in the city of Chicago, who approaches violence prevention from a public health perspective. And Activists, we were a sub-grantee of theirs under the ICEJA funds. And so Activists, those who have been a part of Magic back in the day in 2000, the early 2000, Damon's work had been in Woodlawn. Some of our young people from Magic had worked with Damon in Woodlawn. And so that was a natural partnership between Girls Like Me and Damon. But so what we did with our girls was we began to teach them just the history perspective, right? Historically, what has happened with Black women and girls when we talk about violence. So they started out learning about Reese Taylor, who was brutally, viciously raped and left on the side of the road in a racial terrorist attack in Alabama. And then Rosa Parks was then an advocate for rape victims, these Black women who have been raped by white men in Alabama. And so they learned that history and then began to learn other stories of Black women and Black girls who have gone through years, through generations that have gone missing or who have been harmed. And so our history lessons were partnered with Damon's art theory. And Damon, you want to talk about like some of the things you did early on with whatever the subject was they were learning, like the Reese Taylor piece that you had them go through?
Yeah, I kind of started. I mean, one thing I like to assess like the skill level, especially if, you know, our intention was to paint portraits. You know, I did stress to them that art in general is about creativity. So, you know, maybe you can't draw, you know, good, or maybe you weren't born with that ability, you know, to, you know, recognize and mix certain colors. But as long as you can express yourself, which is kind of about, you know, just like freeing yourself, if you can do that, then you're okay. So, but I did want to identify, okay, who knows actually how to draw, you know, who knows how to, you know, paint something like it's supposed to be. So we did some different exercises. You know, I went through started with like the basics of art. You know, a head is an oval, you know, and we kind of advanced into I guess you could say painting like some mini murals or mini portraits where they would actually like create an abstract background, and then they would paint a portrait of a woman on the top of that. So it was a really cool process, and I think the girls really got a lot out of it. So yeah.
They really did. And I want to say this to everybody who's watching. Our social issues are always a caveat or entree to being able to use talent and to tap into talent. So we don't ever have to separate the two. And that's one of the things I love about the work that you do, Damon. It's always connected to a larger issue that impacts the community. So I love that exercise that you did when you had them actually draw. I don't know if that's the word that I can use, but yeah, they had to draw the Reese Taylor silhouette, and you were telling them like how to get to that point. And we saw that a lot of them, some of them, like not all, right? Because everybody won't, like myself, won't be able to, but a lot of them were able to really tap into. If they couldn't do a perfect picture, they were able to tap into like the picture. I mean, the colors and why to use a certain color to evoke a certain expression and certain emotion. So tell us a little, Latoya, about your process with the film and Cartimquam, and that's huge, right? This is a big deal, especially as we talk about Black women creatives right now, and you're everything that we're training our girls to be. You are that. So for them to be able to work with you and see you in action is, let me just say, first and foremost, is just a dream come true. But tell everybody your process with the documentary.
Yeah, so I started following Damon last year, like around November. Just me and him just painting at his studio. And then once I had enough footage, I edited together a short teaser just to see like how things were stringed together, how will it like form into a short film. At the time, we were thinking about it being just a short film. And so we just edited together. We did an interview with Damon, had him talk about his backstory, about his work, his idea of coming up with Still Searching. And we put together a really short teaser that we were really happy with. And then a few months later, I saw a posting from Cartimquam and Hulu that they were starting back up their Hulu Accelerator program, and they were taking submissions. And so I submitted it. I knew it would be really competitive because I knew there were a lot of awesome Chicago filmmakers that was going to submit their films. So we went into it kind of nervous, but felt really, good about the story. We knew that was a really strong story to tell. And so we submitted it, and we went through multiple rounds of pitching, and we got it. And it was amazing because, like I said, it was so competitive. Like I just knew like it would be really hard to get, but we ended up getting it. And so, yeah, now I'm working with Cartem Quinn, and they're doing a lot of mentoring me through the process of the development phase. So they're like co-developers, and they're helping with funding, writing proposals, helping us with our pitch deck, helping us with distribution, thinking about our impact strategy. How is this film going to live on after it's been released? How is Still Searching going to live on, and still stay in relation with the film? So that's what we're doing now, is really coming up with thinking about the future, thinking about once the film is out, like what else will it do? How will it impact communities? How will it get out to a lot of people, a wide audience? And then we got financial support from Hulu. So they're also providing mentorship too. So yeah, it's an awesome process. This accelerator program is a 9-month program, so it will end sometime next year. But after that, we still get full support from Cartem Quinn. Hopefully, this will turn into co-production with Cartem Quinn. That's what we're hoping for. And then we're hoping that the film release in 2023. And so, yeah, around that time, we are hoping that it's then on Hulu's platform so that everyone can see it, and that it's doing an awesome festival run, that we're doing community screenings, and yeah, just really getting it out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so my organization and other girl organizations, and just organizations in general. I don't want to make this a women and girls only. I want men to understand that it's your responsibility and duty, and hopefully something you naturally want to do, to support this work and to support this film. Girls Like Me is promising now to host screenings. We're promising now to uh, have you on as much as possible and include you in whatever we're doing, so that, as you said, this film does live on Still Searching, because we know that we can never give up on these Black girls who are gone missing. And the attention that we give to them lets other people know, first of all, you can be safe in your community. And second of all, don't you dare try to harm us, because we are keeping the eye on it. We're being vigilant. This will not go down. We will not allow our girls to be hunted. We won't allow our girls to be harmed on our watch. Damon, that's pretty heavy stuff, so we'll bring it down a little. You just unveiled a major blues mural on 43rd and Lake Park. So you want to talk about that, and then you're doing the program with the Love Institute with Cosette. So tell us a little bit about what's happening with your other work. We can't hear you, Damon. You're muted.
All right. Yeah. So now originally, if you've seen the Blues Brothers, there's like this mural in the Blues Brothers with people, dancing and stuff. I was originally supposed to restore that mural. And what happened during the riots and everything, that building actually got burned down. It was on 47th Street. So Chicago Public Art Group, they had a grant, and so we just decided to create a new blues mural. So we wanted to, kind of honor Muddy Waters. So we created, we had a community meeting with the Blues, I believe it's the Blues Collaborative, Bronzeville Blues Collaborative. I think that's what it is. But, we had a meeting with them. It was like a multi-generational meeting. Some of the older people, they were kind of talking about the different influential people in the blues. And then you had the younger people saying, how can we kind of show the blues impact? So, we decided to put, like I said, Muddy Waters, Willie Big Eye Smith. There's a lot of people on there. But we have Chance the Rapper and No Name are kind of representing like the future of the blues. So we wanted to, we didn't just want to make it like a history piece. We wanted to make it something relevant. So from the talks, it was my idea that blues is really about self-expression and about just expressing those emotions. and that's what we kind of represented. So it was really cool. Chance came out. A lot of the blues musicians, families came out. So it was a real good event. And also, what was my other project? Oh, I have a project. Actually, I'll talk about this one with Showtime. Showtime in the Shy just donated, maybe about 500,000 to the city of Chicago. So part of that was for me and artist Dorian Sylvain. We're leading a project to do like 6 murals around the city. So that's really cool. We had our first kickoff, and the mayor came out, and some cast members from the Shy came out. So that was good. And right now, a project is actually about to kick off. And if you go to my page, it was actually a news spot yesterday on NBC. I'm working with the Love Institute, and we're doing a program called Parade of Hearts. And it's just kind of about spreading that love. Like, they had the cows on parade, and they had the lighthouses, and those things were downtown. But the Parade of Hearts is actually kicking off in 10, like, either South Side or Southwest communities. And those hearts, they're like 3D heart sculptures. We got 10 local artists to create hearts. All of them are really cool. They're going to be at different locations throughout, Bronzeville, South Shore, pretty much, Chatham, all those neighborhoods. And we actually had peace circles to decide to get ideas. So, it was community members on a Zoom call. We had a peace circle, and then the artists kind of wrote down notes and then went back and created their designs. So I'm really excited about that. There's going to be a kickoff for that, I believe, next Wednesday. Yeah. I can't hear you.
I muted myself. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, that's with the Love Institute. So shouts out to Cosette Hampton for that work. What's Cosette? Is that right? Am I saying? I don't want to get her mixed up with the other Cosette.
Oh, Cosette. I think it's like Wilburn, Israel.
Wilburn, yes. Yeah. So I'm saying it wrong. Yeah. So Cosette and the Love Institute doing fabulous work, and I'm excited about what that's going to look like, Damon. And I'll just put my own plug in there. You will be with us tomorrow night at Sankofa Nights to unveil this project, to unveil the work of the missing girls and your still searching work that you're doing. So that will be in the heart of Bronzeville on 51st and Calumet, 320 East 51st Street. But for those of y'all who are familiar with the city, 51st and Calumet, actually be a huge unveiling. So we're inviting everybody out to that. Also free food. This is a good celebration, a way for us to close the summer months and to remember on a holiday weekend to keep our community, period. Just keep protecting and keep looking out for us. I want to also say that we are lifting up this bill that is on hold, but we want to amplify it and let those representatives, your state legislators who are behind this, and to let them know not to give up on this bill, and to keep pushing it forward. And that is House Bill 3932. House Bill 3932, and some of the sponsors are Cam Buckner, Jahan Gordon Booth, Mary Flowers, Representative Lindsay LaPointe, Representative Joyce Mason, Representative Justin Slaughter, Representative Jonathan Yoni Pizer, Representative Barbara Hernandez, and Representative John Cabello. So Cam Buckler, Rep Cam Buckler, Rep Justin Slaughter, Mary Flowers, Jonathan Yoni Pizer, Jahan Gordon Booth, all those names you heard. House Bill 3932. That is the bill that is a task force on missing and murdered Chicago Women's Act. They want to create this. They're a task force looking to create the Missing and Murdered Chicago Women Act. And this provides composition of appointments and meetings. It provides that must examine and report on the systemic causes behind violence that Chicago women and girls experience, including patterns and underlying factors that explain why disproportionately high levels of violence occur against Chicago women and girls. They want to appropriate methods for tracking and collecting data on violence against Chicago women and girls. They also want to implement policies and institutions such as policing, child welfare, medical examiner practices, and other governmental practices that impact women and girls. And they want to measures necessary to address and reduce the violence in Chicago women and girls, and measures to help the victims and their families. So that bill 3932 needs our support. It is just sitting right now. They weren't able to get it done in the session from 2020 and 2020 session. So don't let those representatives know that we still want that to move forward. That's what we'll be talking about tomorrow. That's what we'll be making sure we amplify tomorrow, along with Damon's still searching project. And you'll get to see some of what the girls worked on with Damon's leadership and under Damon's tutelage. Damon, we really appreciate you. We are extremely proud of you. And again, using your creativity and your imagination, not just in your art, in your visual art, but also, as Latoya pointed out, in your music as well, and other art forms. And if you get to know Damon and you get to know his work, what you'll see is he's a very giving artist. And when I say giving, meaning that he doesn't want to keep the art community to himself or keep art to himself. He wants everybody to be able to feel as if they can do art in their own way. And so I appreciate that so much about you, Damon. Latoya, we just took the girls. I see Bisa Butler behind you, her portrait behind you. We just took our girls there, Girls Like Me project, for our summer program. We took them to that exhibit and they were enthralled. And not only were they enthralled, Latoya, the patrons who were there were also enthralled to see and shocked to see Black girls at the Art Institute. We know that's not something, that's not a a typical outing for us. But your work is also at the Field Museum. And so I want to encourage people, what would you say to encourage people to get out to these institutions that really are free for us often because we're residents of the city? What would you say to have girls come out and families to bring their children out to our institutions and museum campuses?
I would say just come out and explore these museum institutions. There is so much to learn. A lot of times you don't know who's making the exhibits, but they are doing a lot better, giving us exposure, especially Black artists and Black filmmakers who work at at these museums, and letting you know who's behind these exhibitions, who's creating this work of art. The Film Museum has been doing an excellent job of doing that. And so I would say, if this is like a career that you want to go into, definitely get out and explore, because you never know who's the one making that artwork or that piece that you're looking at, that label that you're reading. You never know who's behind it. And a lot of these, the staff at museum institutions are really diverse. They have a lot of Black people on staff in the behind the scenes. We're so behind the scenes that you don't even know that we're there unless you go there and you see us walking around. So yeah, definitely come out, because we're trying to do a better job bringing you in. That's what we want. We want a more diverse audience and more diverse visitors at our institutions. So it's a hand in hand. So you have to come, and then we have to invite you,
Right.
know. So.
And I appreciate that. We try our best every year. Part of our Divas in the City program is to take girls, Black girls, all across the city to places where historically they have not felt welcome, or just to see that there's so much more. And Field Museum, Jet Aquarium, Art Institute, Planetarium, all of those places. Here's another historical fact, because y'all know I love, well, y'all don't know because I'm new over here at Red Level. But for those who do know, I'm big on herstory. So another historical fact is that Dr. Jacqueline Trish Atkins was one of the 4 leaders in making sure that the museum campuses were open to Black students and Black young people. So that whole campus, museum campus and passes, she created that program many years ago in the 80s, and it's still thriving now. It's the reason why young people can, it's probably the reason, Latoya, how you became familiar with that program. So if you didn't know that fact, Jacqueline Trish Atkins, whose son, Sharif Atkins, is I say famous, yeah, famous actor. He's been on ER and a whole bunch of other stuff. So you got a lot of Chicago history happening. Everybody should know who everybody is doing good things. I want to thank you both for taking the time out to join us today. Damon, thank you for everything you've given to Girls Like Me Project. And Activist, we are so grateful for your talent. We're grateful for this project and for lifting it up. It was an easy fit. Damon and I sat together and said, well, what should we do around violence? And he was already working on this. So why reinvent the wheel? This powerful work. I suggest that anybody who cares about Black women and Black girls support this work. Still Searching Project. I'm going to try and put that banner back up for you to be able to follow that. You can go to stillsearchingdocumentary.com. That's how you can keep up. That's how you can find out who's behind the scenes. You can find out the trailer, the teaser, how to give money, right? Because films need money. They need money for production costs. They need money for distribution costs. They need money to submit to screenings and festivals and travel for festivals and then screening. So please make sure you visit all those sites. Thank you both again for joining me for this takeover of Red Level Entertainment. All right.
Thank you.
Talk to you both later, Damon. I'll see you tomorrow. Latoya, hopefully you'll be out with us tomorrow as well. Yeah, see y'all later. All right. So everybody, for those of you who are watching who are not familiar with me, yet again, I'm Lakeisha Gray-Sewell, and it is the Girls Like Me Project takeover of Red Level Entertainment. I want to thank you, Brian Thompson, for allowing us this time on your platform. I want to thank Christy with an I Productions, I'm sorry, and Felicia Apri for the phenomenal job they have done in putting this all together and making this happen. We're excited about our finale, our summer finale, which happens tomorrow. And as you can see, all of that information is scrolling. I always do this wrong. Scrolling across the screen. So Sankofa Nights, our finale is from tomorrow, Friday, September 3rd, which is also my birthday. So yes, if you are so inclined, come out. Free food, good times, African drumming, drumline, live music by DJ B-Side. Just a good time up in Boxville, Bronzeville neighborhood. Boxville is the corner of 51st and Calumet, right under the Green Line. Just a powerful time tomorrow night. We're gonna have as a way to kick off to end the summer months, as a way to bring about peace in a block party style, old school mixed with new school, keeping the peace in our communities. Thankful for the funding and support from Safe and Peaceful Communities Fund here in Chicago, as well as Activist Incorporated and all their support of our organization. Again, this has been a phenomenal time. Thank you, Red Level Entertainment, and to all of you all who are Red Level Entertainment supporters, Girls Like Me Project supporters. We love you. We appreciate you. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.